Hello friends, so let's chat about one of my favorite topics, which is becoming more efficient. No matter who you are or where you live or how you structure your life, we all have typical responsibilities that we have to keep up with, stay on top of, and check off our list over and over. So what I have found is the more that we can be efficient with getting these day-to-day tasks completed and the less brain space they can take up in our lives, it frees up so much time and so much energy for us to focus more on the things that we really want to do. When I had my son, who was my third baby, that's what really kind of shook, I feel like, everything I knew about day-to-day life. And I went into full-blown like chicken with her head cut off mode. And I was all over the place. I didn't have solid rhythms and routines or systems that kind of anchored me in my day and saved me a lot of time and energy. So while I still got everything done that I needed to get done at that point in my life, however, I spent so much more energy and also time getting it done than I actually had to, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is you can operate in that mode for sure. You can, I've done it, but you will be burning so much more energy and time that you could put towards other things. I've shared a lot about, like my mom master list, which was actually born out of that time in my life, or, meal planning, different things I do to be more efficient. But in this video, I kind of wanted to pull back the curtain and share even more things that I don't typically talk about, because there's a lot of things that I've learned to be more efficient with that has truly like saved my life in a lot of ways. Okay, so first up is the beast that everyone has to deal with no matter who you are, and that is laundry. And my biggest tip here is just to come up with a system that works for you. I feel like personality really plays a lot into this and maybe how you typically structure your life, but I've heard moms talk about their laundry systems, and I hear, some systems where I'm like, that literally, I would go crazy within like 5 seconds if that was like the system that I was trying to implement in my house, like just doing a load every day and just like throwing in whatever's dirty and sorting it out later. Like for some moms that works super well. That would drive me absolutely insane. I would feel super disorganized and discouraged, and I would be completely overtaken by the laundry. So I will share with you my system in hopes to give you maybe another option for you if this is something that you need to simplify and make more efficient in your home. So I have learned 2 things. 1, keep everybody's laundry separate, and 2, assign them to a day. So this accomplishes 2 major things. 1, it completely knocks out the entire chore of sorting. To me, I'm like, why would I add an extra full step into a laundry routine when I don't have to? So we keep everybody's laundry separate. So all the kids' laundry gets washed in their own, they have their own hamper, it gets washed in their own load. Same with my clothes, same with, bedding and towels. Everything is separate so that there's no sorting on the back end. And then everybody gets assigned to a day. And basically what this does is it eliminates me or my husband having to consistently check and see, is their hamper full enough? Should we wash it today? Because you'll do that every day. And that's a lot of thought and a lot of decisions that you can just completely eliminate when you decide on a day or, a time frame that works for that individual person's laundry. And even if we get off track, because we're not perfect and we're not robots, and sometimes we miss a day and the whole schedule kind of goes out the window, we still keep everyone's laundry separate. We don't just throw throw it all out the window and just go crazy with the laundry. We still keep everyone separate because I find that keeps everything the most simple. And then if I can really nail it down and stick to those days, it's even less of a thought for me. And it just becomes no big deal. The next thing that helps make life run a lot more smoothly, but most especially frees up a lot of brain space for me as the mom and the homemaker of our family, is doing a kitchen reset each night after dinner. So while I would love for my kids to each have a chore and participate in this and we all just do it together, that just is like not what's happening in my life right now. I hear other families do that and I'm like, that sounds great. I feel like I've done a lot of things great as a mom. There's a lot of things that I have like let slide and not done great as a mom. And one of those is like really staying on top of my kids doing chores. They're definitely old enough now where they could be participating in chores. It's just something that like personally I have dropped the ball on over and over. So as of now, it's me doing the kitchen reset, and also my husband. He usually does all the dishes after dinner. But what I mean as a kitchen reset is like the bare minimum. It's just dishes are done, counters are like wiped down, there's no crumbs, everything's put away, and then also the floors are swept so you're not like walking on dirt or crumbs. Kitchens obviously need a more deep clean than that from time to time, but this is just like that quick at night, we just reset everything. I was recently talking to a good friend of mine, and she explained her like resetting her kitchen at night as like the closing shift at a restaurant, and we both worked at restaurants, so this makes total sense to me. At the end of the night, all the dishes get washed, everything gets put away, everything gets wiped down. You would never leave like crumbs on a table or not sweep a floor, because it has to be reset to be reopened for business the next day, like from square one, ready to go. So I just love that analogy, and I have definitely used that, you know, in my own kitchen, because most nights I don't really want to do it. I'm like ready to just get the bedtime routine done and finally relax. But you know, layering in that extra 20 minutes or, you know, even less to just completely reset the kitchen so we can come back down and we can sit at our breakfast table and there isn't like leftover like Parmesan cheese crumbles or whatever else. Like, it just makes such a big difference, and it helps me start with a clean slate and have just like a happier mood at the start of each day. Now, sometimes in the home, the best thing to do for time saving and efficiency is to actually just delegate. There's a lot of simple tasks you can delegate throughout your house. When it comes to the kitchen though and cooking, that's where it gets a little bit trickier, because a lot of the times if you're not making things yourself, the quality or, you know, the types of ingredients are used in that food might suffer a little bit. But I'm really excited to share with you guys today's video sponsor, Wildgrain, because they are one of those anomalies where you can kind of get best of both worlds. They are the first ever baked from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, fresh pastas, and also artisanal pastries. So if you love the idea of sourdough, but you don't necessarily want to go through all those steps yourself, Wildgrain is an amazing option because they do the slow fermentation process for you, and everything is super quick. You can literally go from baked to frozen in 25 minutes. Everything comes out beautifully, and you would never know truly that it was frozen. Everything tastes so good. So not only are you getting the benefits of the sourdough, which makes it a more nutrient-dense, high-quality option, but it's also pretty convenient, and you still get that delicious, like fresh baked bread taste and the smell in your house. I just love how simple the ingredients are. They are the exact same ingredients that I would be using here in my kitchen, or you would be using in your kitchen to make these things yourself from scratch. So if you don't want to go that route and you want to save time there, you can still get the higher quality option that's going to not only taste much better, but it's going to be such an upgrade to what you would find at your local grocery store. You get to customize your own box. So you can pick out whatever you want. I feel like you cannot go wrong with any of their breads. Also, their chocolate chip cookies are fire. Just saying, they're so good. Another thing that's really nice about Wildgrain is they also give back. So for every new membership they get, they donate 4 meals to the Greater Boston Food Bank. I don't know about you, but I always love a company that pays it forward. So if you guys want to check out Wildgrain, I will leave a link down in my description box below. It will get you $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in each box. So next I want to talk about decluttering, which is, I have like a love-hate relationship with decluttering, because I feel so good once it's done, but I often don't want to be doing it all the time. But it's just one of those things that you have to do all the time. And I try, you know, to not always be letting things come into my house and creating the problem. But no matter what you do, you know, you always have to kind of stay on top of not just decluttering, but more so organizing as well. I feel like my girls' room is a big one for me, especially their closet. They play up there a lot, which is why I don't necessarily mind having to go in and do this every once in a while, because I know that their just imaginations are exploding up there and they just go crazy with, you know, like playing, and it's great. But it does leave a lot of mess that needs to kind of be reorganized every once in a while and decluttered. But there's 2 things really I wanted to mention, because obviously we all should be decluttering, right, if we want to stay on top of our homes. But something I have found to be very helpful with, again, efficiency and consistency, but again, freeing up brain space, is actually like scheduling in your calendar times to declutter. I used to just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and whenever I was feeling like I needed to declutter, I would just go crazy and I would organize something. But that, you know, kind of energy or motivation always burns out, and it's not like a reliable source to really for you to stay consistent and on top of it. So by scheduling it, even if it's just like 15 or 30 minutes, actually like having it scheduled where you will actually make progress during that time, which helps you feel a lot better about it. But B, if you're ever feeling like overwhelmed by your house, it's not like, oh God, I need to find time to declutter. It's like, I know on Wednesday, I'm gonna have 30 minutes to declutter. Like on Wednesdays, my mom usually takes our 2 toddlers. It's a quieter day in my house. My oldest is at school. That's usually my day where I'm like, I'm gonna find 30-minute chunk and I'm just gonna get something done. So that is super helpful. Another thing I found to be really helpful, I learned this from a podcast, and that's creating a donation station. It doesn't have to be fancy. Mine's literally a trash bag in my closet where it's kind of hidden and my kids won't see it. But it's a place where when you're kind of moving about your daily life and you come across something that you're like, I don't need this anymore, I just need to get rid of it. Instead of, having to like circle back and come back to it later when you're like decluttering that area, you just take it right then and you stick it in your donation station. It's a place where you can stick those things so they get essentially out of your house, out of the rotation. You've already made the decision, it's gonna get donated. And then as soon as that bin or that bag fills up, that's when you know to throw it in the back of the car, and next time you're driving by, the thrift store, Goodwill or whatever, it's time to say goodbye. The next thing that makes home life for me run a little bit more smoothly, and really this is not so much home life, but like on the go life, and that is how I organize my car so that I don't need to ever lug around a diaper bag. And this might just be a personality thing, but I despise diaper bags or backpacks. I don't want to be like, have all these kids with me and then also look like I'm about to like hike up a mountain with like everything I could ever need for any child. Like I'm not into it. It's not for me. I want to leave my house with like my phone and my wallet and my keys and like a water bottle for each kid, and we'll be good to go. So the reason I'm able to do that is the biggest thing is diapers in my trunk. So I keep diapers and a big pack of wipes in the back of my trunk for any time I need to change a diaper on the go. I still have 2 that are in diapers, so we're definitely using them, but I find that it's so much easier to just keep them in my car because I don't go through them that often, so I don't have to even really think about replacing them that often. But I'm not thinking about every time I leave the house, do I have a diaper in my bag? Do I have a diaper for each kid? Do I have enough wipes? Like it gets rid of so many extra thoughts because I'm like, there's diapers and wipes in the car, we're good. I also do keep some snacks in my car. We usually just go to Costco and get like solely fruit bars or applesauce or whatever. And while I'm not like big on packaged snacks, I do understand how helpful snacks can be at certain times when you're out and about. So I will keep those in my car. So it's not like every time we're leaving the house, I'm not like, oh, do I need to pack snacks for everybody and then go downstairs and get the snacks and put them in the bag. It's just, again, they're already in there. They're always available, and it's just much simpler that way. Also, if you don't have a little trash can in your car, get yourself a cheap little car trash can off Amazon and thank me later because it's life-changing. Next, I kind of want to shift gears and talk about a few things that I do each day for myself that help me to show up as my best self so that I can be, on top of my game, so that I can be efficient, so that I can show up to not only get the things done that I want to get done, but then also be present for the things that I really want to be doing. And one of those things for me is getting ready each day, but I don't want to be spending a lot of time or really even thought on getting ready. I want it to be one of those things that's just so nailed down that I just execute it quickly without thought. And here I am, I'm dressed and I'm ready for my day, feeling good and ready to tackle whatever comes my way. So first up, simplifying your wardrobe is life-changing. After I had Davy, she's my 4th baby, I basically went through my closet and donated almost everything because I was never very good about creating like a capsule wardrobe. I would just kind of buy things that I liked, but then nothing really went together. And it made getting dressed every day, not that it was difficult, but it did take more thought than it needed to. So now I definitely take more of like a capsule wardrobe approach, not necessarily with like a certain amount of certain items, but I do want everything to be able to mix and match and go together. And also I don't keep anything, I'm very ruthless. I don't keep anything in my closet that I don't love. So if I put it on and I'm like, I would wear it, no, it's gone. It is just out. We're not doing that. You guys always ask where I get my clothes from. Typically it's from New Flora. I actually discovered them after Davy was born. And I just love them for like everyday feminine clothing, but they're all about helping you like create a capsule wardrobe. So everything that they put out for sale already like mixes and matches with like everything else. So it's just kind of like an easy button. So for me and my personal style, I know that on a daily basis, I'm typically gonna be wearing jeans and either like a button down or some kind of blouse. So I have various prints and patterns and colors all kind of within the same families. I like a lot of whites and creams and blues and maybe like some soft yellows or greens. And that's pretty much what I wear on a normal basis. Or I might wear a dress as well. I'm really picky when it comes to dresses, but I do have a few that I really love on me. So I keep them and I'll wear them on a day where I just want to be a little bit more breezy and comfortable. I have a few solid pairs of jeans that I really like. This time of year I have a couple sweaters that I love to throw on over top of like jeans and a top or a dress, just for an extra layer of warmth where I still feel like cute and put together. Now when it comes to the hair and makeup portion of getting ready, I have really basically just nailed down this routine as much as I possibly can. So when it comes to my makeup, I keep it super simple. I have a small makeup bag that pretty much only contains what I'm using to do like my daily routine now. I do have like another makeup bag that I keep on top of my closet with like different colors of different things, you know, or some items I like kind of cycle through seasonally. I am kind of a makeup junkie, so I do like having options, but on like the daily basis, I don't want to be like, you know, digging through a big bag of makeup to find what I need. I just wanted to literally have everything that I need for that day. And that makes my makeup routine go much faster. Now, when it comes to hair, I am someone where I want my hair to be styled. When it's not styled, it's kind of like Hermione Granger vibes if I were to brush it out, which is just like it's not my cup of tea. So I do like to have my hair styled. I know women can be so different with this, but I also have really super thick hair. I have an insanely thick head of hair and I don't want to be spending a lot of time on my hair all the time. So years ago, I trained my hair to be able to go, I usually wash it once a week. I can even push it further than that if I really wanted to. And that's like not even using dry shampoo. It's very possible to kind of force your hair to extend how long it can go. So once a week I wash it. I always get asked about my hair products. I use InnerSense hair products. I have for, I can't even count how many years now. I switched to them a very long time ago. They're completely non-toxic, but they are like salon quality. Can't recommend them enough. I just love their hair products. So I will wash my hair once a week. I style it with a Dyson Airwrap. For my hair, best investment I probably could have ever made. I think it's so worth it because it takes my hair a really long time to dry and to style, so I can do it both at once. It saves so much time. It takes me about 40 minutes to do my whole head, and then I don't touch it for a week. So when I first do it, it's super curly, like bouncy curls. As the week goes on, the curls fall out, it becomes more of like a loose wave, and I don't really spend hardly any time ever touching it up throughout the week unless I have like a special event or something, but that's it. I just spend that one basically hour or two a week on my hair, and then I don't touch it the rest of the week. Okay, this next one is a big one, and it's not something I ever focused on until very recently, and that is paying attention to your circadian rhythm. Now, truly, this could be life-changing, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, listen up. I listened to a podcast episode recently, which I will link down below for you, all about light and how it interacts with your biology and can even, you know, play into chronic disease. But it talked a lot about exposure to light during the day outside, because that really programs our bodies, but then also being really aware of your blue light exposure after the sun goes down. Now, I had always heard, you know, don't have any blue light exposure an hour before bed. So that, to me, it was like, don't watch TV or be on your phone or your laptop, which I didn't really follow that anyway. But something I didn't even really realize was after the sun goes down, you've got all these LED light bulbs in your house. That's blue light exposure right there. So, you know, I would try and be more mindful, and then every night I would go to wash my face right before I went to bed with my blaring LED lights, and I always wondered, like, why was I falling asleep on the couch and then wired and like wide awake right after I washed my face, so I'm literally about to get into bed. So here's what I do differently, and it's really not that much. One, simple, get outside every single day. I am a homebody. I have a home-based business. I do a lot of things in the home, so it can actually be hard for me to like make sure I get outside every day. I can like send my kids out, but I need to make sure that I get out there too, especially those first couple hours in the morning when the sun starts to come up. That's like that getting exposed to that light is like cream of the crop, but really getting outside at any time of day, there's so many benefits to getting outside, getting that fresh air, but again, getting that natural light from the sun. Most homes nowadays, well, the windows, like we live in an old house, so we actually get those rays through our windows, which is helpful, but most houses filter them out. So you have got to get outside and get exposed to that daylight, because that's going to help acclimate your body and really program that circadian rhythm. And then the second thing is being really mindful of blue light at night. So I've tried to be a lot more aware of big light bulbs being on, bright lights, like trying to avoid that as much as possible. Matt thinks I'm crazy, but when I go to wash my face at night, I literally just light a candle in our bathroom, which maybe that is extreme, but like I said, that would always wake me up. And this is the complete opposite. I go in there, I'm like nice and relaxed and sleepy, and I stay that way. If we watch TV at night, which I'm still gonna live my life and watch TV at night, but I do wear blue light blocking glasses. And I have to tell you guys, in the last month or so of doing this, I have slept so much better, like such higher quality, deep, restful sleep, where it's so much easier now to get up early in the morning, which if you guys watch any of my videos, you know that's like a hallmark of my life. Getting up before my kids, that sacred time, quiet time in the morning, changes everything about my life pretty much. And if I can get that, it's amazing. And if I can't, it makes my life a lot harder. But getting higher quality, really truly restful sleep makes that so much easier. And of course, it's so good for your health and well-being overall. Okay, this next one, I feel like it's never a fun topic because we don't really like to think about this, but to create more time in your schedule to do the things that you really want to do, whether that's spending more time with your kids, spending time outdoors, maybe it's learning new skills, it's learning how to bake bread or, you know, make quilts, or I don't know, whatever, any kind of hobby that you want, say you feel like you don't have time for, but you'd like to have time for, chances are you have time for it. You're probably just spending it looking at your phone. One of the most humbling things you can do is to go into the screen time app on your phone and see truly how much time you've spent on your phone every day. This is something that I've really started focusing on in the last couple of years and have made a very conscious effort to decrease, because not only does it steal so much time, and it's crazy how much time it can steal from you without you even really realizing it when you see that screen time app, but more importantly, when I emerge from scrolling through my phone, especially like social media, my brain feels so scrambled. I am so much more snippy. I am off focus. I am just not my best self. So this is something that I've really tried to get a handle on, and I know that this is something that our world at large now unfortunately struggles with. Social media can be such a double-edged sword. I mean, you're literally consuming this video, and I'm glad that you are here on social media right now. But I think finding ways to curb it or to, you know, experience it in a way that doesn't make your brain feel all scrambled, if that is something that happens to you too. Personally, I love YouTube. I love long form content. I always walk away from watching a YouTube video feeling inspired, having learned something, feeling motivated, or just feeling relaxed, honestly. Whereas any kind of short form content I typically would consume nowadays leaves me feeling the opposite. So that's personally something that I have kind of scaled back on, but it's just one of those things that we often have to check ourselves with this, because we spend a lot of time looking down and we miss out on a lot of things that are going on around us. My last tip is another big one, and that is to build margin into your routine. So obviously, you know, if we're trying to be more efficient, we're typically trying to get more things done, but more is not always better. If you find that you are consistently creating to-do lists or even like a mom master list for yourself, where you're never able to accomplish it, you're just simply trying to do too many things. Like, you can only be so efficient, you can only delegate so much. So you do need to be aware of when you're trying to overload your plate. This is something that I have personally struggled with for so many years, and in the last year or so have really come around to, there's really truly only so much that I can do and can do well while also, being able to be present for the things that I want to be present for. Life is unpredictable, and especially as moms, our day-to-day can be very unpredictable. Like if the baby doesn't sleep through the night, or the toddler didn't nap that day and is having a really off day. I mean, so much can change on a day-to-day basis. So when it comes to creating those rhythms and routines and systems in your life, always try to build margin in and kind of expect the unexpected. Learn from my mistakes and try and do this when you're actually creating the systems, so that you don't, on the back end, have your systems continually breaking down and then you have to figure out how to backtrack. Leaving room for margin in your schedules and your routines really will bless you beyond belief, because as moms especially, we really do need that wiggle room. And if you're always trying to walk on a tightrope, you are going to be so stressed out. And again, you can't do all the things. So figure out what you absolutely must get done, delegate what you can't, and then execute those things in a way that makes sense and is going to free up the most time and the most brain space possible, so that you can put that time and that energy and that focus into the things that you really want to do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that you're walking away with a new tip or a new idea that you can implement in your life that is just going to make it run that much smoother, so that you really do have more time to focus on the things that you love or you really want to do. If you guys are new here, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and join my little community here on YouTube. I share a lot of videos here on my channel about efficiency and productivity and how to kind of get it all done, along with a lot of healthy food content, a little bit of nutrition, as I am a dietitian. Thank you guys so much for watching this video again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.